Welcome to G-Dawg Media, where we talk all things movies, comics, TV shows, and a bunch of other things. I'm your host, Gunnar Tigner. So it's been a little over a month since Batman Cape Crusader has hit Amazon Prime, and like some of you, I really enjoyed it. It was a great back to basics for Batman and animation, while telling a fresh and familiar take on the Dark Knight. And honestly, it made me reflective of Batman and animation past. In fact, Batman and animation is what really got me into superheroes. I remember way back in the day renting the Batman Superman movie from Blockbuster, which I still own the DVD to this day, mainly just for nostalgia and keepsakes. The point I'm making is Batman and animation, both film and TV, contain some of the character's best and iconic moments, in my opinion. Unfortunately, a lot of those moments get easily overshadowed by the live action depictions of the character, including the likes of Batman 89, the Dark Knight trilogy, and the Robert Pattinson's The Batman being the creme de la creme. So in this video, I want to talk about the top 10 best Batman moments people missed out on if you only stick to the live action movies. And also, if you haven't seen these movies, shows, or didn't want to know what any of these clips entails, major spoilers coming up. All right, quick disclaimer before we get into the things. I do not own any audio or clips being used in this video. All is owned by Warner Brothers Discovery and DC Comics. Batman is created by Bob Kane with Bill Finger. And YouTube, please don't take this video down, and I really don't get in trouble for this. And also, I did get the idea of this video from a Screen Rant article. I just read it, and I didn't really agree with a lot of that was shown here. So if you want to compare the original article with this, the article will be in the description if you want to give it a look. Also, the list itself, a couple of things to note. As long as Batman is in the title, all's fair game. So no Justice League projects or any team-ups. And also, just to spice things up, I'll be taking 1 moment per show and per movie. Now, with that out of the way, let's get started. Our number 10 spot is from the classic and highly underrated Batman Beyond animated series. Batman Beyond takes place decades into the future, where Bruce Wayne has retired, being the Dark Knight. Now, there's a new Dark Knight by the name of Terry McGinnis, and he is mentored by Bruce Wayne to become the new Batman for this futuristic Gotham City. And this moment from the show, in my opinion, is highly underrated and criminally overlooked. In the season 2 episode Lost Soul, a dormant AI from Gotham's past resurfaces and attempts to take over the Batman Beyond suit. After believing Bruce and Terry shut it down, it escapes the Batcave in search of a new human body in the city.
I'll figure something out.
Look what the suit did to that wall. You think you can go up against that?
Sometimes I ask myself, is Batman just a suit, or is the man inside? Time to find out.
Terry. Better take this. It's got some things you might be able to use.
Thanks.
I'd give you one of my old costumes, but most of them are pretty torn up. You know, bullet holes, burns, gashes.
I know what you're trying to do, but it won't work. I'm still going.
To put this in perspective, imagine watching Tony Stark fighting the Iron Man suit with absolutely nothing. And at this point in the fight, Terry lost the utility belt. He was able to locate Vance using the advanced Batman Beyond suit. And without any gadgets or tools at his disposal, he decided to use what he could find in his surroundings. He was hoping that Spear would just do the trick, but once he learned that he needed to put an electrical outlook, he knew what he had to do. Right before Vance could finish him off with one final blow, Terry grabbed the wire he needed to use, plugged it back in, and was able to wipe out the AI from the suit entirely, bringing the suit back to its normal working condition. Back at the Batcave, Bruce and Terry are repairing the suit after the initial fight. Bruce saying it'll take a couple of days. Terry's relieved, expecting a couple of days off. And then Bruce says,
Terry, it's only the suit that's out of commission, not Batman.
What I love most about this moment from the show is that it shows that Terry is more than just the suit and the toys and the gadgets. That doesn't make him Batman. What made him Batman is him. It was his wits, it was his determination, his drive, and his quick thinking to win the fight and save the day. And to me, that's what Batman's all about. And that is why, in this moment, is in my number 10 spot. Our number 9 spot, this show is not really known for its darkness and mature storytelling. It's more of an homage to those classic Silver Age comics from the 50s and 60s, putting a more fun, silly, and campy spotlight of Batman's history. With moments like this.
Tell me something, and I need the absolute truth. Do I look fat in this outfit?
This.
You wouldn't hit a lady, would you?
The hammer of justice is unisex.
And this.
It was my honor to fight by your side, President Lincoln.
However, in the season 3 episode, Chill the Night, the writers decided to take the show in a darker route. With the main plot of this episode being that the balance of justice and vengeance are on the fritz, and the cosmic beings, the Phantom Stranger and the Spectre, determining that Batman is the one that's going to tip the scales of this balance, and that this night in particular is going to be the most important night in Batman's career as a crime fighter and a superhero, and determining what his future in that is going to look like going forward. With the main plot being Batman confronting the man who murdered his parents. After Batman had his own personal encounters with the Phantom Stranger and the Spectre, he decided to track down Joe Chill himself and found him at a warehouse where he was making a deal with his supervillains. Once he got close and personal with Joe Chill, he decides to take matters into his own hands and gives Joe Chill the beat down of his life. Asking him if he remembers Thomas and Martha Wayne, Joe Chill, scared out of his mind, is just telling him, "How do you know that? That was a lifetime ago." And Bruce tells him,
You took them without mercy or regret and in cold blood, Jill.
How do you know this? How could you possibly?
I know because I watched it happen. I know because I am the son of the man you murdered. I am Bruce Wayne.
No. Oh, no.
He is beaten. Let your devotion to justice temper your rage.
He took your parents, ruined your life. Fulfill your destiny. Become what you have trained to be, an agent of vengeance. He knows who you are. If this man lives, Batman dies.
Batman may die, but Bruce Wayne. Never.
what I love most about this moment, it shows Batman's thirst for justice. Like, he could have easily taken out Joe Chill just like that, but instead of just delving down to revenge and stooping that low, he remembered that promise he made to his parents all those years ago, that he would never take a life and that he will become better than that. And it's just really inspiring, and that is why that this clip is on the number 9 spot. Batman Year One, as the title implies, goes through the first full year of Bruce Wayne being Batman, while also showing Jim Gordon's first year in the GCPD. At the halfway point of the film, some of Gotham's elite and corrupt have a dinner party discussing this Batman and what he's all about. With a lot of them not taking him seriously, just saying that he will just be gone, they'll just buy him off, and he'll just be taken care of. Which leads to Batman crashing your dinner party by throwing a grenade in there, cutting out the power, putting these people in the fearful symmetry, and then this happens.
Ladies, gentlemen, you've eaten well. You've eaten Gotham's wealth, its spirit, but your feast is nearly over. From this moment on, none of you are safe.
In my opinion, this is the most iconic moment in Batman Year One. For one thing, despite how untouchable these people are, it shows that Batman is not afraid to go after them and shows them true justice. And also just that declaration of war that it gave them was just so epic. I was considering putting the fight and escape from the SWAT team in the abandoned building that took place earlier in the movie. However, it felt very similar to the moment in Batman Begins where he was escaping from Arkham. So for that reason, I put this dinner scene in number 8. The Dark Knight Returns follows Bruce coming out of retirement after 10 years of putting away the cape and cowl. After Bruce retired from being Batman, Gotham was left in an even worse state. With a new gang on the rise called the Mutants, crime was at an all-time high, citizens had no hope, and has just began to start giving up, saying that Gotham has gone to hell. And on top of all that, Commissioner Jim Gordon is set to retire very soon, and he's hoping to bring down the mutants before his retirement.
Husband and wife found murdered in their sleep this morning.
Murder rates on the city's subways have reached an all-time high.
Kidnapping and murdering young children, a line even the mutants hadn't crossed until now. Despite the family paying the ransom, the mutants still took the boy's life. This marks a chilling escalation from a group many are already calling the worst criminals Gotham City has seen.
The time has come.
After having the urge of putting back on the cape and cowl, Batman decides to hit back the streets once again, and criminals, like it was back in his heyday, were no longer safe. Muggers, pimps, and of course he set his sights on the new mutant gang, which all culminates in an epic car chase of a bank robbery, which led to this epic shot.
You gonna tell me or only?
And after Batman's first night back, the citizens of Gotham are just flabbergasted at what just happened. Sightings of a giant bat creature, criminals randomly being roped up and tied up, citizens describing a monster almost like a werewolf, or something that described as otherworldly, unnatural. But the side effect of all this, some citizens have regained hope in fighting back against the mutants, and some of them are questioning if the Dark Knight himself is truly back in action. And if he is, would that be good or bad? Simply putting this moment just based on sheer badass factor, it shows how ferocious and brutal Batman can be to criminals. While also at the end, it shows that the citizens make him more mythical and otherworldly, kind of more like a boogeyman of sorts. And honestly, it's just always cool for me, for just normal people to view him as not just a guy in a mask, you know? Hands down, the best Batman and Superman fight ever put to screen. So in the second half of The Dark Knight Returns, pretty much what happened was, after the brutal beatdown Batman gave to a mutant leader, all of GCPD is on a manhunt for him, led by the new police commissioner, Ellen Yindel. Joker is out of his catatonic state in Arkham Hospital, not Asylum. And that led to an epic final battle. And then during all this, Superman became a stooge of the government. This is during like the Cold War. A nuclear strike was almost headed to the USA. Superman averted it. However, it led to a nuclear blackout, a big old EMP that took out the power of the entire country, even Gotham City, and that led to massive chaos, pandemonium just taking place. However, Batman was able to keep it under control, keep the citizens in line, and the criminals in line as well. However, the same couldn't be said for the rest of the United States, and the President of the United States ordered Superman to take him in. Which leads us to this moment right here, the epic battle between Batman and Superman. At this point in the movie, Superman was not at his strongest, but Batman decides to use that to his advantage by using rockets to disorient him, detecting his X-ray vision, and keeping him on his toes while Batman and his allies are preparing for the major fight that's coming to a head. And Superman, he does his best to dodge it, but with the lack of sunlight, he was able to keep up. Same with Robin's blast from the Batmobile, was able to overcome her and put a stop to it. It all leads to this moment right here.
Clark. This is between you and me.
have to do this.
Sure we do.
Bruce, be reasonable. You know what my orders are.
Your orders?
Want me to kill you?
Oh, you're not going to kill me. Now! It wasn't easy to make, Clark. It took years and cost a fortune. Luckily, I had both. A different binding agent, a stronger mix. I want you to remember that. I wanted to remind you to stay out of my way. In all the years to come, in your most private moments, I want you to remember the one man who beat you.
This scene right here showcases Batman mind over muscle. It shows his strategic battle strategy, his ability to coordinate other heroes and other allies in the middle of a fight, and also just seeing him put someone that should be considered leagues above him in their place is so satisfying. And that is why I still consider this the best Batman Superman fight, and that is why this moment is on this list. Alright, I know what you're thinking. Oh, but Gunner, this is not an actual Batman movie. Batman's in the title. So that's how it got here. In this movie, Superman Batman Apocalypse, it's essentially Supergirl's origin story. And they're just trying to figure out if she's good or what to do with her and all that stuff. At this point in the movie, the evil alien god Darkseid has gotten word of another Kryptonian, and he is trying to get her part of his private army, which he was successful in and was able to kidnap her and bring her to his homeworld of Apocalypse, a hellish landscape, which led to Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, as well as Big Barda traveling to Apocalypse to rescue her. However, Darkseid has completely brainwashed her into becoming part of his female Furies, which led to a little skirmish, a little fight between her and Superman. Batman was off doing his own thing on the planet while Wonder Woman was fighting the female Furies. Batman stumbled upon Hellspores, which were essentially major critical bombs, and he devised a little plan for Darkseid.
Darkseid, even you must realize the folly of being a king without a kingdom.
I doubt the battle between the two Kryptonians will bring about such destruction.
I'm not talking about them. Your armory, the Hellspores, they've been activated.
Impossible. The arming code is encrypted.
I broke the code and reprogrammed them.
You're bluffing.
Omega Lambda 7 XL9. That sounds like a bluff to you?
I could destroy you with a single blast of my Omega beams.
You could, but that wouldn't stop the Hellspores, would it?
You will disarm them.
Here's the deal. Release the girl, and give your word you'll leave her alone.
forswear Kara Zor-El. Say it.
Well played. Have the Kryptonian or the Amazon?
What makes this moment great for me is Batman flat out got the respect of a god. So much so to the point where Darkseid himself said that Superman and Wonder Woman would never do what Batman just did. What makes this even cooler is Batman didn't even put up a fight with him. He just used his brain. He just used his negotiation skills. Didn't even lay a finger on this guy, despite how badly Darkseid was beating him up. And that's what I love so much about this moment is this. He used his sheer intellect and his negotiation skills to win this fight. And he just has this drive to win and to just save the day. And to me, that's one of the many reasons why I love Batman, and that is why I love this moment. Batman Under the Red Hood follows Batman taking on a new brutal vigilante that appears in Gotham. This new brutal vigilante is known as the Red Hood, and secret plot twist, he was Robin. In fact, he was the second Robin, Jason Todd, who died by the Joker's hand 5 years prior to this film's taking place. And this moment is essentially the climax. Everything leading up to this moment is just Batman figuring out who the Red Hood actually was, Jason's plan coming into full fruition, Joker is out of Arkham, and this leads to this epic fight between essentially father and son. By the end of the movie, it's revealed Jason forgives Bruce for not saving him, but the one thing he could never forget was letting the Joker himself live. Jason is trying to convince him why he should have killed him right when after he died, and told him that all the friends he's crippled and all the graves he's filled, and Jason just tells him, if it was you that died instead of me, if you were the one that he beat to a pulp and blew off from the face of this world, I would have searched the planet and put him 6 feet under and sent him to hell. And Batman tries to calm the situation down by reassuring that he never really understood why Batman never takes a life. Jason argues that it is just too hard to cross that line.
Not already. No. It'd be too damned easy. All I've ever wanted to do is kill him. A day doesn't go by when I don't think about subjecting him to every horrendous torture he's dealt out to others, and then end. But if I do that, if I allow myself to go down into that place, I'll never come back.
After that, Jason decides to throw one last curveball of an ultimatum at Batman.
I won't. This is what it's all been about. This. You, me, him. Now is the time you decide. If you won't kill this psychotic piece of filth, I will! If you want to stop me, you're gonna have to kill me! You know I won't. I'm gonna blow his deranged brains out! And if you want to stop it, you're gonna have to shoot me! Right in my face!
This is turning out even better than I'd hoped.
It's him or me! You have to decide! Decide now! Do it! Him or me! Decide!
To me, this moment shows Batman's philosophy greatly on his no-kill rule. Despite how evil and vile the criminals he faced, he will never stoop to their level to take a life. Because in his mind, if he does that, he becomes no better than the criminals he fights. He wouldn't even kill even if he's put into an impossible situation like Jason put him in. And that is why this spot is in its number 4. Return of the Joker is a spin-off film based on the Batman Beyond show, and it shows the Joker returning to Gotham after decades of being presumed dead. He has returned to bring trouble to Neo Gotham and ruin the legacy of Batman. At this point in the movie, Bruce has fired Terry from being Batman, having fear of his own safety, and Bruce never really revealing what happened between him and the Joker in their final fight, which leads to Joker actually breaking into the Batcave and horribly disfiguring old man Bruce. It was horrifying to watch. And Joker's gang coming after Terry in his civilian identity. After the smoke clears, Terry demands answers from Barbara Gordon, the former Batgirl, now police commissioner of the GCPD. And in the flashback from the movie, it was revealed that Robin, after stopping a mugging, turns out to be staged by Joker and Harley Quinn, and they kidnap the boy Wonder. After realizing what has happened, Batman and Batgirl went investigating after 3 months of no sign of Robin and dead ends leading anywhere. They found a lead and realized that he was located in the old Arkham Asylum that has been abandoned. And once Batman and Batgirl got to Arkham, Joker and Harley revealed that they want to start a family, but in their own sick, twisted way.
Remembered you always had a few spare kids hanging around, so we borrowed one.
No.
My God.
He needed a little molding, of course. What kid doesn't? But in time, we came to love him as our own. Say hello, JJ.
A fight breaks out between the Dark Knight and the Clown Prince of Crime, revealing that through all the torture and experiments he conducted on the boy Wonder, he knows Batman's secret identity is Bruce Wayne and all the dirty little secrets he has, and continues to mock him with childhood memories and considering it one big fat joke. And despite the beatdown Batman has given the clown, he continues to smile and goad his enemy, leading to him throwing him across the room and landing on the ground, and Batman grabbing him. Batman threatens that he will break him in two. Joker doesn't believe in that threat, saying that if he wanted to do that, he would have done that years ago. But Joker, he has no qualms doing it, ends up slicing the Dark Knight's chest open and stabbing him in the leg, making Batman stumble and fall back to the ground, which leads Joker continues to taunt the Dark Knight, saying that before he dies, he'll be hearing the sound of both he and the new Joker Jr.'s laughter, which leads to this heartbreaking moment.
Make Daddy proud. Deliver the punchline.
Tim.
Do it! That's not funny. That's not...
This whole flashback to me best symbolizes the rivalry between Batman and Joker. This will always be the definitive final battle, in my opinion, between these two, and shows why Joker is Batman's arch nemesis. It showcases their history, the lengths Joker will go through to hurt Batman, and just how brutal and epic their battles can be. If you haven't watched Return of the Joker yet, I highly recommend it. It's one of the best the DCAU has to offer, and a must-watch for any Batman fan, especially those who love Batman Beyond. The original Batman, the animated series from 1992, is considered the depiction of Batman for many fans, including myself. It best showcases both the lighter and darker aspects of Batman, Gotham, and his whole world, while also having the definitive voices of Batman and Joker with the talented Kevin Conroy and Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill, being the Clown Prince of Crime. This moment in particular I want to discuss was in one of the earlier episodes, Nothing to Fear. The plot of this episode is pretty basic. It's just Batman's first encounter with the villain Scarecrow, and Scarecrow's whole plan was just get revenge on those that deemed his experiments too inhumane and cruel, which leads to, after their first initial encounter at a bank vault, that Batman gets infected by his fear toxin, which makes anybody see their greatest fear come to life. And in this case, Batman's greatest fear is failure. But not just from failure by from anybody, but being reminded of his failures from his long deceased father, who chastises him for failing to save the city and being a disgrace to the Wayne family name. Eventually, towards the end of the episode, he's been fighting off this hallucination on and off, and once he catches up to the Scarecrow at the end on this blimp in the climax, it leads to him confronting his fear and saying,
Disgrace. I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
This moment right here defines Batman the Animated Series. This line, the I am vengeance, I am the night, I am Batman, is what made Kevin Conroy's Batman so iconic. And I remember seeing that as a kid for the very first time. It brought goosebumps to me, and it always has stuck with me ever since. However, not as much as our number one spot though. Mask of the Phantasm is the first theatrical animated Batman movie to ever be released, and is my personal favorite animated Batman movie of all time, and in my top 3 favorite Batman movies, period. This scene that I'm going to talk about captures everything that is the essence of Batman. Important things to note about this movie is the flashbacks that takes place during this film. It shows a different side of Batman's origin, where he actually fell in love with a beautiful woman named Andrea, so much so to the point where he actually considers not being Batman anymore. Unfortunately, tragedy struck, and Bruce proposes to Miss Andrea, and she said yes. Both of them are happy and ecstatic. After Bruce discovers a cave, Alfred approaches him with very solemn and sad news, giving him the ring still in the box that he used to propose, with a letter from her saying that she has left the city with her father, tells him to forget about her and just move on with his life. And after that moment, Bruce realized that his chance of happiness was long gone, and decides to go full fruition into his plan, into fulfilling the promise he made to his parents' grave all those years ago when he was 8 years old. Which we cut back to the cave with Bruce and Alfred together, and this happens. Scene still gives me goosebumps to this day. Literally everything about it was just perfect. The build-up, the music, the suspense, and the cherry on top of all this was Alfred's reaction to Bruce donning the mask for the first time. It shows that Bruce Wayne is truly the mask, and Batman is what he truly is as a person on the inside. I was tempted to put the moment in between flashbacks where during his happiness with Andrea, Bruce decides that his pain is not as bad as it used to be, and literally goes to his parents' grave to beg for forgiveness. But for me, this scene came across as too Shakespearean. Didn't really speak to me as a kid all that much. But as an adult, I totally get it. It's a great moment at all, but it didn't really stuck out with me as much as my number one spot did. Well, that's my list. I hope you guys enjoy, and let me know in the comment box down under on what your favorite animated Batman moments are. Was there any I missed? Would you like to see me do a live action version of this? Let me know. And as always, please give a like, share, subscribe, and let the people know about this channel. And hopefully, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.